When you hear the word economic superpower, you will probably think about the United States, China, Germany, or Japan. But not too long from now, you will have different opinions. And this would be due to the new rising economic powers. Well, who are they? You have already guessed it from the thumbnail. After the World War II, Western countries went through rapid economic growth. That was also known as the golden age of capitalism. Then in the 80s, China started to pick up the pace due to its low-cost manufacturing. Similarly, from past 2 to 3 decades, some Southeast Asian countries are showing incredible growth in terms of economy. Experts believe that these Asian countries could be the next economic powers after the West. So, let's take a look. To begin, let's take Vietnam. The economy of Vietnam is a socialist-oriented market economy. It is the 44th largest in the world if measured by nominal GDP. But if we want to know the future of any nation, then first we have to look at its history. Vietnam has a long history of wars and distraction. Due to this, Vietnam lost its factories, cities, and countless citizens. Plus it is a communist country, and they followed the Soviet-era economic model. Vietnam did not see any economic growth for a long time. But things started to change from 1986, when Vietnam launched the Doi Moi policy. It was a free market economic reform, which was aimed to restructure the centrally planned economy to socialist-oriented market economy. During 2008 to 2018, Vietnam achieved an impressive yearly average growth in its GDP of 6%. They also reached a 10-year high of 7.1% in 2018. In addition, unemployment rate was just 2.2% in 2018, which is the lowest in the world. Vietnam economically moved very fast even after suffering for many years from the war tragedy. This economic miracle of Vietnam is based on manufacturing, which was boosted by trade liberalization, domestic deregulation, and investment in human and physical capital. Vietnam's economic success is a result of providing necessary facilities for doing business with ease and confidence. They focused on improving infrastructure. Their special attention was on transport, telecommunication, and energy. And this has laid down the foundation for future growth. The country is also taking steps to develop the necessary skills through training. And now after this pandemic, Vietnam has a high chance of attracting investments, as they can provide similar facilities like China. So, this could become a game changer for Vietnam. Now we will look at the second most populous country in the world, India. After the end of British rule, India followed the Soviet economic model with the protectionist policy for economic growth. But after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, India switched to capitalist economy. After that, India's GDP almost doubled every 5 years. They achieved this growth even after half of its people work in the agriculture sector. Yet from the past decades, India is slowly switching from agricultural to the modern industry-based economy. Today the major contributors of the Indian economy are the service sector, industry, and agriculture. Also, some big tech companies are heavily investing in India. And due to tech investments like these, India stands a chance to become an electronic manufacturing hub. To know more about this, watch our video linked above. India has a huge local market and its labor cost is also less compared to other countries. And this could attract huge investments in the coming time. Yet they have some problems like social and political unrest, lack of infrastructure, and wealth inequality. Although problems like these could resist investors. Now let's move towards Philippines. The Philippines is primarily considered a newly industrialized country. Philippines' economy is driven by its service, industrial and agriculture sector. Mainly the service sector. This sector accounts for 60% of the country's GDP and 56% of employment today. And these numbers were achieved due to the package that people of Philippines offer. The country's professionals speak necessary global languages. In addition, they have less wages than the Western countries. Also, the country's average age is 25 years. That means more people available to work. Hence all of this made Philippines one of the largest business process outsourcing country. Apart from this, the Philippines government is trying to attract foreign direct investments. And bringing up the infrastructure is their way to go. Several economic zones are already active and have attracted investments, as the industrial sector contributes 30% to the country's GDP. Now, good things aside, the agriculture sector, which once accounted for 1/3 of Philippines' GDP, went down to 9% in 2018. Yet government is making efforts to make that stable again. As to grow faster, the balanced combination of agriculture, services and industry is required. Even though the Philippine economy did not grow much until the 21st century, they saw a significant growth in the last 20 years. And we could see them more economically strong in the future. Let's go to Malaysia now. The economy of Malaysia is the third largest in Southeast Asia. Also one of the fastest growing economies. Today their manufacturing and service sector is largest contributor to the economy. But if you see this graph you will understand that the share of GDP of manufacturing sector peaked close to 31% in 1999. Thereafter, it declined almost continuously every year, and had declined to 22% by 2016. The service sector's share of GDP has gradually increased from 32% in 1974 to 53% in 2016. Though Malaysia's manufacturing sector's growth has declined, it still produces a large amount of products. Assembly of electronic equipment, electrical machinery, appliances, and production of chemicals and textiles is done in Malaysia. In addition, the country is a major producer of rubber and palm oil, petroleum natural gas, and is one of the largest sources of commercial hardwoods. Another advantage that Malaysia has is, it is strategically situated between Singapore and Thailand. Because of that, Malaysia provides the perfect investment opportunity for foreign businesses, while promoting convenient access to other expanding markets within Asia. One of the reasons behind this economic growth is, since the early 1970s the government has championed a social and economic restructuring strategy, known as the New Economic Policy. Also, the privatization of many public sector activities promoted private investment and infrastructure development. So, with continued technological development and infrastructure growth, Malaysia could emerge as an economic superpower. Now let's take Indonesia. The economy of Indonesia is the largest in Southeast Asia, and is one of the emerging market economies of the world. Indonesia has made enormous gains in poverty reduction, by cutting the poverty rate by more than half since 1999. The country hasn't suffered negative GDP growth since 1998. Indonesia's economy is mainly based on trade, manufacturing, and services. In that, manufacturing is a large component of the country's economy. It contributes 20% of their GDP. The country is also a major exporter of crude petroleum and natural gas. In addition, Indonesia is one of the world's main suppliers of rubber, coffee, cocoa, and palm oil. Yet the economic growth of Indonesia is lower than expected from past few years. And this is due to lack of infrastructure. Although large and growing population is major advantage to attract foreign investors. But this could happen only if infrastructure improvements are made, to promote higher GDP growth. As this would also help Indonesia to get out of the middle income trap. And rise as an economic power. So, in the coming time, these could be the next countries to show a major influence in the world economy. Yet the pandemic we all are going through, makes things more uncertain to predict. Still, we would love to know your views on this. Please write them in the comments section below. And we are glad you watched the full video. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Thank you.